Well, hello there, beautiful people. Well, I kind of jumped this stream here without, you know, doing a wait or anything like that. I just jumped into this one, so I guess I'll wait here for a few people to join. But anyways, I want to do a little chat tonight. Hopefully, nobody's gonna be bothered by that. There we go. We got one person that joined anyway. So I guess we'll wait for others. Oh shit, I didn't even put this thing back on the chat thing. Let's see here. Hey, Jersey girl, what you up to, hon? I caught your last stream, gave you a big thumbs up, of course. Who's this one? Abby Rude? Hello. Well, anyways, as you guys might want to guess here, I am at work. I wanted to start a little chat anyway. A couple days ago, I was in Mary's stream, and I got the cat out of the bag of an incident that I had here recently, the last few days ago. Here, hold on. Here we go. And I wanted to touch bases on it as to what happened and what I ended up doing about it, and my reasoning behind my little situation and the outcome of it. But I'm going to wait here till I get a few other people coming in the room here. It kind of sucks when you tell a story and you do it in the beginning and where there's nobody around, and next thing you know, people come in the room and they go, "What did I miss? What's going on?" And then you're explaining everything over and over and over again, and that can get irritating. So I just wanted to let the room fill up a little bit beforehand. And trust me, it's worth hanging out because this was a pretty interesting situation that I had. And I think most would be pretty intrigued as to my reaction to it and how I dealt with it. Right now here, I'm just doing a quick round here, scanning my checkpoints. So I figure by the time that I do that, at least enough people will be in here. Okay. And then we will get on with the show here. Let's see. Okay. Oh, shit, I did it again. Okay, we'll do that real quick. Okay. Alrighty. Hey Terry, how you doing, my friend? Hey man, been a while since I've been seeing you. Oh, yeah, I know it has been a while, huh? Um, yep, I did, Miss Jersey Girl. Sure did. Anyway, God, only 3 people showed up so far. Okay, well, anyways, when I get off of work, guys, usually what I'll do in the morning is I'll go and make my, usually stop off at the 7-Eleven near my house. And I'll usually do that to pick up stuff for the following night. You know, like I'll pick up a couple packs of cigarettes and soda and yada, yada, yada. And Monday, I went in there and did that. And usually I'll sit out there and I'll watch a YouTube video or something, you know, something to pass the time because my son, um, you know, I don't want to just walk in and wake him up in the morning because he's got to get up and get, you know, go to work anyway. Um, so, hey, we all love our beauty sleep, you know what I mean? So, anyways, I'm sitting there in the parking lot and I'm facing an opposite direction from the front of the store. Um, and I'm just chilling, watching a show, and I look up into my rearview mirror because I heard some kind of scuffle or something that didn't sound right, and I observed 2 gentlemen sitting over between this red box, and one of them I identified as one of the workers from the 7-Eleven there, and he had some guy, um, you know, pinned there like he was really close up into his face, kind of ordeal. And then I watched the 2 gentlemen go back into the store. So something told me some bad juju was a coming. Something didn't seem right. And so the 2 gentlemen, they came out of the store again the second time. The clerk convinced them to go back into the store for some oddball reason. And I flipped my car around and you know, just to be up on there because I was curious what the hell was going on, if it was going to turn into blows or what the deal was. Well, next thing you know, the clerk is talking to this gentleman. At this time, they're outside the store and they're standing, you know, between the gentleman and his bike. And the gentleman goes to get on his bike and the clerk says, hey, whoa, you know, he blocks his path from doing that. And the guy started wailing on him. I mean, he flipped around on him and just started swinging. Now, there's no need for anybody to do anything like that, especially in this day and age, you know, kind of ordeal. But this guy obviously was in a not good state of mind. I can tell that maybe the guy had been shoplifting, and what gave me that indication is that the clerk had an object in his hand, something that was boxed up. So it told me something really wasn't right. So the guy wailed on him. I mean, he full-fledgedly just started wailing on him. Well, I aid and assisted to help this clerk to stop the gentleman from doing what he was doing. So what I ended up doing is I ended up pulling my taser out. I jumped out of my car real quick and went to go hold him there for the police. Well, the guy got up and he jumped on his bike and he went to take off. Now, granted, I took foot patrol. I chased him for a bit, but to the point of getting him off the property. Now, I've had some people, that were looky lures out there in the parking lot. Oh my God, that dude's got a real taser. He's going to tase that guy and da 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 da. And I got to tell you, I mean, granted, had the gentleman kept wailing on the guy, I would have been within some form of right to do that, to defend that gentleman from getting hurt. But here's my reasons why I didn't tase him. First of all, when you're in a situation like that, if you're in any kind of firearm training, to some kind of magnitude, they say that if a person's running away, that's fight or flight. Okay, you don't have a right to shoot, even if they're stealing your property, whatever the case may be. And it stands the same way with the taser. If a person is disengaged in their meaning of wanting to cause harm and they are fleeing, you can't just fucking tase them. Okay. So no, I didn't end up tasing the guy. And besides that, when I had pulled my taser, I realized I didn't have it switched on. So in that brief moment that he was doing that, yeah, I could have legally tased him and would have been fine. But because I had failed to engage the power button on it, well, it gives a brief moment for it to load up in order for you to be able to discharge it. And at that time, the guy had gotten on his bike and he was fleeing to get away from the guy. So, yeah, there's that. Hey, Sonic. Excuse me. Hey, Sonic. What's up, brother? Flower, how you doing, hon? So the $54,000 question, had I tased him, would I have been in the right? Well, technically speaking, had that guy continued doing what he was doing and I had the power switch on and was able to tase him, yeah, I would be within my legal right to do so because the gentleman is causing harm to somebody else. And I know that other gentleman was a clerk, and the clerk didn't put his hands on the guy. He didn't, he just blocked his path of telling him, no, you're not going anywhere. I just want what you took out of the store, kind of ordeal. And that was basically what he was after. But as far as him fleeing, if, again, they got their back to you, not a good idea to discharge in any way, shape, or form. You could be facing charges yourself. Now, the police were called and the police did respond and they came out. But again, we're going to same face here, the laziness of the San Jose Police Department. The gentleman doubled back and he came back to the store. The clerk had already called the police, and just as the police arrived, this guy saw them and turned around, fled on foot to hop over a fence. Now the cops came up, and I sat there and told them that guy just jumped that fence, so he's right behind this building right here. They lifted not one finger to go try and undo the individual. Instead, they kept asking me, when was the last time you saw him? Just now. He's right over that fence. He wasn't interested in walking over to see where the gentleman's at. Instead, they just wanted to take statements from people. It's the cowardness of this police department out here to lift a finger to help anybody. So, it is what it is. So, and the clerk there at that 7-Eleven has told them all that they were wanting to do was to put him on the block program, to not have him come on the property at all. Now, here's an issue. Here's the issue dealing with stuff like that. If the gentleman comes out on a property and they got to call the police, they're not going to respond to it, because they know themselves by the time they get there, the individual's left the property. Let me tell you what happens out in Las Vegas if something like that occurs. The police will come out. The police will track your ass down, because as long as they have the shit on camera that you've been on their fucking property, they will come and collect you, and they will charge you for the trespass, even if you play them sidewalk games. Because even though it's not witnessed by a cop, somebody filmed it some way, somehow, you will go to jail. Out here in California, they know that, well, the police, they just won't do anything. So they taunt and taunt and taunt until it makes the clerk want to quit his job. It's a sad, pathetic way of life out here in California. Is there a level where using a taser is excessive? Yes, there is. There is. Like holding it over 3 seconds or... Okay, here, let me explain a little bit about a taser and its pulsation and stuff. Once you pull the trigger on the taser, it gives 5-second intervals. Actually, here, I can show that to you. Okay. Okay, listen to this and tell me. Okay, that's 5 seconds. Okay. Now, of course, when I did that, I did not have the cartridge loaded, but that is basically the reaction that happens when that occurs. Make sure it's off. Now, is it excessive? No. However, a part of the training using a taser, how they want you to do it, and law enforcement does it, is totally different, and I think it's bullshit. Okay, all the way around, pure bullshit. As you as a regular taser holder, They say it's, if you tase somebody, okay, after you tase them and it's done compulsing, you're to drop the cartridge and reload a new cartridge in. Okay, this gives time in between for the person to grab their composure again. These cartridges are not cheap. They're like 30 something dollars per cartridge. But can you get excessive with it? Well, you better not, because the thing of it is like, like some cops will sit there and tap, 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 tap. You need to stop or you're going to tase you again. Okay, pop, 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 pop. Okay, it can cause damage after a while. You're not supposed to do that. But law enforcement can get away with that shit. You as an individual can't. If you and that's one of the reasons why they tell you to drop the cartridge and reload another one, so you're not excessively doing that. Now it can double as a stun gun. By having that head off, you can make contact that way. Long time. See, it's totally different here in Kentucky. Which, okay, well, how is it different in Kentucky? What do you mean? Hey, Greg. Can't tasering cause heart attacks? No. And seizures? No. That's a good question. Can't tasers cause heart attacks and seizures? No, absolutely not. Now, if you have a weak heart and you constantly keep hitting them, there is a probability that your heart could skip a beat and it could probably kill you. There is a probability of that. But you've got to have already had heart issues. And it has to be consecutive. If you're being shocked once, it's not going to kill you. That's a guarantee. Even if you have a pacemaker, it is not going to kill you. The trespassing laws. The trespassing laws. What about the trespassing laws? Oh, okay, I get it. The trespassing laws are different there in Kentucky. Yeah. How are the trespassing laws out there in Kentucky? Are they better? I mean, do they really, because like I said, Nevada, they won't play a game with that shit. If people are playing, I'm on your property, I'm on the sidewalk, I'm on the property, I'm on the sidewalk, cops will just come up, they'll arrest you. They just won't, that police department out there, it is pretty ruthless. I got to give it that. There is no fucking second warnings of shit. That police department plays no games. Man, that look cool. I like that. Oh, sorry. I was watching this cool car drive by and it had its front emblem lit up. It was pretty cool looking. Um, yes, there's better because got think about Montaigne and also agriculture, purpose land. Oh, okay. Isn't that why they call it less than? That's right. It's less. It's a what is known as a less lethal weapon. Now, believe it or not, um, one thing that really puzzles me and it dumbfounds me all the way around on this shit. This state supposedly proclaims that it has stand your own ground laws out here. But yet, if you stand your own fucking ground, I'm sorry to say, but you're going to go to jail. You're going to go to jail. You're going to be convicted of something for standing your fucking ground. That to me is an oxymoron thing for them to say that this state has that we all know it doesn't have. Also, if tobacco crops, the tobacco companies might there's lawyer, lawyers. What the hell? So, in other words, you trespass on somebody's agricultural land out there, farming or anything like that, they'll get you for the trespass. Oh, by the way, I mean there's several reasons why I didn't tase that guy. The second thing that comes into play as to why I didn't tase him is I do not work for that 7-Eleven. I merely got myself involved to stop that guy from hurting that clerk. That's it. That's all I was looking to achieve. Secondly, like I said, I don't work for that 7-Eleven. If I was to tase him, any liability would have been put on me. It's one thing to defend, to stop somebody from causing harm to somebody, to acting on your own accord. People have destroyed tobacco crops and etc. And hay field, and sometimes on Halloween, people used to burn hay. Yep, and that shit just ain't cool. That is not. Yeah, it's not cool for people to do stuff like that, and hopefully cops do prosecute for it. And that's another reason why we need Biden out of office. Yes, definitely. Biden's not in any kind of office. Biden is nothing more than a trespasser. He's a vagrant. And I don't understand why the fuck he's not in jail or, put back in his old folks' home. I'm ashamed to say, but I've never imagined this country would ever go without a standing president. We have no standing president in this country right now. I find it funny how they're trying to do everything they can to try to make it to where that Trump can't run for president in 2024. When in fact they're already putting it out there that all these previous presidents, have done the same of what Trump's done. Just like right now is third season. There's snakes in woods. Snakes in woods. Oh my God. That'll keep the trespassers out. Some of the snakes can be very poisonous. Uh, Governor of California is just as bad or worse as Biden. Yeah, you're right about that. The governor of California is. He's a knucklehead. But yet Democrat parties is worse. Yep. Democrat party is worse. Yep. They want to take your guns. That's right. And I'll tell you what, in the top of his fucking lungs from the beginning of his campaign, Trump has been saying, you put a Democrat in office, they're coming for your guns. Oh, no, we're not. Well, guess what? Talk that their whole fucking campaign is trying to shoot down anybody that wants to own a gun. Oh, we're not taking your guns. We just want automatic weapons off the street. But hey, by the way, we're going to make it to where you got to do questionnaires, a psychological test, and this, that, and the other for you to carry a handgun. Hey, cool, right? But we're not coming after your guns. We just want the automatic weapons, the assault rifles. Yeah, that's it. Fucking assholes. They treat us like as though as if we're dumb, deaf, dumb, and stupid. The governor. What's up? Hey, what's up, the governor? How you doing? Ginseng can bring thousands a pound. I don't know. Now what's now where's almost all we're now we're I think he meant to say we're almost at war with Russia and China, which could lead possible Nvidia on our souls. Well, the thing of it is those assholes, they sat there and bitched and griped and sat there and said that that's what Trump is trying to do, is start a war. And Trump never tried to do anything of the sort. I think it's funny, the things they attack Trump on, they're doing themselves. Where they fought Trump on the whole border shit, they're now saying, oh, how right he is, and they're implementing back into some of Trump's laws that he put into place. I think is just idiotic and stupidity. And now they are loading up busloads of fucking immigrants and taking them across to other states of the United States. And then guess what they're doing? They're selling the American people down the fucking river by allowing these illegals to vote freely in our country. You know what their number one bribe to get their vote is? Hey, we allowed you in and we're now supporting you. So vote for us. In the meanwhile, they still want to keep mail-in ballots going. So there's going to be even more fraud. Oxyman 24. I see the Democrats run Michael or Michelle Obama next election versus Donald Trump. Michelle Obama ain't going nowhere. She ain't getting shit. Michelle Obama is a fucking dude. Do you know that? The kids they have are adopted kids. Cigarette sales in U.S. Have went up, and countries to go up since starting of COVID. Yeah, that's weird, but you're right about that. They make every excuse in the world to make it to where the poor person pays for the rich. Michelle Obama is praised by the Democrats for some reason. Well, good for them. The way I see it, guys, they say history is bound to repeat itself. That's basically what's going to end up fucking happening here. If we don't get a decent president in office that can, you know, and I think it's funny how, they got things that they're pitching a bitch about or saying that is a fucking problem. They're doing this war thing on homelessness. They got on, I mean, how stupid do they think the American people are? They're causing this shit. Allowing landlords to rake up the fucking rent beyond belief it's intentional. A lot of people that are homeless aren't homeless because they want to be fucking homeless. They're homeless because they're being fucking outsourced out. Their fucking job don't want to adjust payment. The fucking landlords are on a crew to where they can just jack up their shit to whatever the hell they want. Fast food workers are making more money while farmers have not seen increase in crops. While farming is skill and passion and heritage and etc. Yep, I agree with that, Mr. Wellen. I agree with that. But then again, the farmers, they want to run out and go get illegal aliens and then make the aliens fucking do all the fucking work on the farm. And then as they come around for their pay, turn them into fucking, they turn them into doggone, um, the fucking, what do you call it? The immigration. So they don't have to pay them. Between BTW. This is the Kentucky Ditman. Oh, you're the Kentucky Ditman. Oh, okay. That's cool. Just like newspaper in Louisville, Kentucky is going completely out in November. Oh, yeah, probably. Okie dokie. Well, hey guys, I'm going to drop the link here. If anybody wanting to come up, you can do so. Oh, come on. There we go. There we go, folks. I pinned the link to the top of the comments there. There we go. Do y'all have Murphy USA gas station? No, not out here. Out here they got like 76, 7-Eleven, Shell, Chevron, Costco's. I don't even think they got BP's out here, but I don't know. Oh, it's a school at Murphy's USA for $6.50, and everywhere else that brand for roll $24. Huh. You know, one thing they did out here is they stop. You know, if you go to buy cigarettes out here, you can't get any menthol anymore. Menthol cigarettes are illegal now. That's weird considering that federal government Utah was ending in 2004. Hmm. Interesting. I just noticed this janitor was coming out here checking the trash can here. She got a flashlight so she can check the can. I don't blame her. You know, I went to a gas station once and I had to empty some stuff in my car, some trash. And lo and behold, as I was sticking my hand through the thing to throw in the thing, there was a centipede right on the fucking top lid, and one of the poisonous ones too. That was fucking scary. CC mean used to give support system to go tobacco. Ah, interesting. Even for rollies, menthols, cigarettes. Yeah. Well, I'm not certain of that. I'm not certain about roll your owns or anything like that. If they've stopped the sale of menthol tobacco, I don't know. I don't really go to smoke shops anymore. I haven't done roll your own tobacco in a long time. Now my friend Jeff, he does roll tobacco still. Oh wow. It went from 1934 to 2004. Oh, for what? For menthol or what? Yes, support system. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, I've seen my late grandfather made cigarettes out of newspaper. Huh? Oh my God, that was some harsh tobacco smoking. That's for damn sure. Had a newspaper? Damn. Heard of people rolling your own out of fucking toilet paper or the paper wrap that comes, when they singly wrap rolls of toilet paper. I've heard of people doing that. Man, some crazy shit. It's a good way to give yourself smoke inhalation. There's a device out that you can take and you can, it's basically a pipe kind of setting where you can stuff it with tobacco and it gives just the right amount of tobacco that, without the paper, which I found pretty intriguing because it was really weird. You pack it differently than you do pipe tobacco. It's really compact, and it's weird how it works, but it works. Just imagine if was thief in charge in White House. A thief in charge in White House. Well, I, I don't think Biden's a thief. I just think he's an old fuck that just doesn't. He's just senile. You know, he just lost his way back to his old folks' home. There's no country out there that respects that man. On newspaper. Okay. Come on, you stupid thing. Hmm. Queen of England is near 100. No, why more than Biden? Yeah, I know. Queen of England has more better sense and understanding than Joe Biden. I mean, that's funny. You're right. I mean, she's much older and she has more common sense about her and her pinky than fucking Joe Biden has to his entire body. My late grandfather was raising tobacco and hay on 2 farms at 84. Wow, that's impressive. Hey, brother, won't you come up on panel with me? It's been a while since you've been up on panel. Just click on the link and come on up. Oh, there you go. Cool. Ah, here you are. Okay, you're going live in 3, 2, 1. Hey,
Hello.
brother. Hey, how you doing?
All right. My mama had to get a new job because of the price of gas.
Hmm.
Guy
How's
she's
it?
working, the guy she's working for now is actually the guy that bought my grandparents' farm.
Oh, wow. So the gas prices, they haven't gone down out there or what?
Yeah, they finally came down, but we
Yeah.
ended up
Well.
they ended up selling his mother's house too, though.
Oh, wow. Well, that's pretty hard.
But at least we're moving back to where we're originally from, me and my mama.
Where's that? South Carolina or?
Cave City.
Oh, oh, okay, Kentucky.
My
Oh,
family originated from before we moved to Kentucky. We was originally from Arkansas.
oh, wow. Hmm.
But yeah, my granddaddy only grew tobacco 2 years without the quota, and you're probably like, what the heck? You probably want me to explain to you in more detail what the quota was.
Uh, Back then it was kind of pretty profitable, huh?
What state are you originally from?
Me? I'm actually originally from Seattle, Washington. I was born out there, but
I didn't know.
I was raised in Nevada.
Okay, if you had land, the government would pay you a percentage and give you a percentage of the land you could grow for tobacco.
Oh, wow. Is that the same way for like regular crops, like food crops and stuff, or what?
No, and it was Roosevelt that brought it in.
Oh, wow.
There's actually a documentary on YouTube you can watch about it where they ended the quota and then it went over to contracts.
Oh, wow. What now? Is it better for it to be under contracts, or was it better the other way around?
Better the other way around because of the Chinese.
Oh,
See, the Chinese grow more tobacco now than any other country on this planet.
really? Now
Hmm.
that I didn't know.
And Brazil is like in the top three.
Hmm.
And in Africa, it's starting to become big business too now.
Oh, wow.
Because back when I was a kid, it wasn't a global market if you was a United States tobacco grower.
Hmm. Well, I don't think
Well,
this ban um, on menthol cigarettes is going to last. I don't think. I remember.
here's what there's this one guy I watch on YouTube called Jacob Jones, and they more or less finally came out and admitted something that I guess people's known ever since they slapped the warning label on this product back in the 80s. They didn't admit it, but they more or less owe it to us. They said this will not affect smokeless tobacco when it goes into a federal ban. Just cigarillos and cigarettes.
But yet it did, huh?
They're going to leave it up to the states to do what they want to do with it.
Yeah.
Okay. When did they raise the age from 16 to 18? Like, how long ago was that?
I'm not really certain.
Because
I know out,
I
I
think
know
it
out
was
in Vegas.
I
Oh,
think it was 98.
98.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hell, out in Vegas, it's always been 18. You couldn't get cigarettes. Yeah.
If memory serves me correctly, from what I've read, the last two states that even agreed to it was North Carolina and Kentucky. And how they made them agree to it was they's like, well, you ain't getting the master settlement for the farmers unless y'all agree to this.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've even heard teachers said, yeah, even like when I was 8, 7 years old, the kids in high school could still go outside and smoke.
Yeah, I think it's funny. Out in Vegas, they made it illegal for vendors to sell cigarettes to minors under the age of 18. But yet, you used to be able to smoke in smoking quads in high school,
Yeah,
which made no sense.
even though it wasn't when I was in high school, it was still though after I was born and old enough to remember my granddaddy growing it.
But then they cut out the smoking quads and said that if you wanted to smoke, you have to be off property. And then they switched it from that to, oh, it's just illegal period for you to be smoking. So in June, the cops just come around and cite you for smoking tickets and shit. It's ridiculous.
It never got that strict here, not yet. You can still smoke on school grounds as long as it's after the bell rings or before the morning bell.
Oh, wow.
But I guess it's up to each school. The reason why my school might not be that strict is guess who their biggest taxpayer is?
The tobacco industry.
The tobacco warehouse owner. And they own all the land too, right around the high school.
Yeah.
And then back in the 90s, my granddaddy leased tobacco. That used to be what they'd call it, not leasing the land, but leasing the tobacco because of the quota off of landowners in front of the high school. And one of
Hmm.
them was a sheriff's deputy, and the other one was a KSP officer.
Oh, wow.
There's even a doctor still to this day that leases his land out for tobacco production. He's done that. He's been a doctor for about 50 years. And before that, he was a military doctor.
Mm-hmm.
But now he don't take no new patients because he's like 80 some years old. He quit once this COVID started.
Oh, wow.
But there was this one guy that worked for the school. If he needed you dip, he'd say, "Give me a dip. I've been here longer than most of these people been alive."
Holy shit.
But he passed away back about a month or two ago. But he was a diabetic and had epilepsy.
And epilepsy, huh? Oh, wow.
Then
Yeah,
another guy,
a
huh?
taser cannot cause epilepsy.
I didn't know if it could cause it or throw a person into one.
No.
You see, there was a guy around here. They hollered they threw him into a heart attack from tasering him.
Well, they probably kept up with it. They probably kept zapping them.
They did, but some people also said he was high on methamphetamine at the time too.
One thing I don't seem to understand is, you know, there was a guy that got shot down for aiming a taser at a cop,
Hmm.
but yet there were like 4 or 5 cops chasing him. The guy so happened to have got the cop's taser from him and did that, and they mowed his ass down like an animal. And
Our founding,
huh?
our founding fathers was even against having police officers.
Against having police officers? What do you mean?
Like the kind of police officers like we have nowadays. They wanted it to be more so like constables.
To me, I think they should shut down these makeshift fucking police departments that were set up through the United States and just leave it as sheriff department because the sheriff is the actual true law of the land.
True.
Okay. These makeshift police departments, their training techniques is very concerning, especially with the way today, they want to hold cops accountable for what they do, but they fail to realize that them cops learned to do that shit from trainers. They want to hold a cop accountable for misuse of force. They need to go back and hold the trainer accountable for teaching them to be that way.
Well, that also
Because
goes back to another scenario, like the Democratic Party. They ought to be dropped off somewhere in the middle of Appalachia,
yeah, let them control their own shit.
where they hit the hunt and all that, and then they're miles away from a police department and may get phone connection and may not.
Yeah, because I'm not against police departments as long as they're, as they're supposed to be peace officers that uphold the Constitution, and yet they don't. They don't. They get sworn as a sworn officer to do so, but they don't.
Well, did you read that story about up in Canada? It was a month or maybe 2 months ago
Which one?
about a woman going home caught a burglar broke in her house. The burglar was sound asleep, and the 911 operator told him to just let him lie there and sleep.
Oh yeah.
See, in Canada, it's not in, well, it is illegal, but it's not either. You got to pay taxes to have guns and a license.
Yeah. Well, here in the United States, it's turning out to be that way too.
And that's why I said we ought to take our government to some of the most like remote areas of this country and just drop them off.
Out here in California, they're trying to pass some law saying that if you're a gun owner, you have to have insurance, gun owner insurance.
And I can imagine in some places in California, it's like out here in the hollers and the hills and the mountains. It could take maybe an hour or longer for a police officer to arrive, depending on how many calls they got coming in or arrest.
Yeah. It's a nightmare out here. I'll tell you what. Here they proclaim they have stand your own ground laws, but yeah, um, I'm sorry. Somebody attacks you and you fight back, they'll come arrest you.
That's why I said in the state of Kentucky, they've tried to pass laws like that, but they've always failed or got
Yeah.
shot down in the calls of Congress. The only thing they really did that was wackadoodle was what I told you about. It was Mitch McConnell. And he said, I'm a visionary
Hmm.
for getting rid of the tobacco quota.
Well,
When listen to this, he even said it his own self. He said, over half the tobacco establishment, including growers and families, against me.
oh wow.
He said, then we interviewed the smokers and let them know about this. And dippers and chewers, and over half of them was against me. Is that everybody was against me almost.
Hey there, Clark. Clark Kent. Biden is great. What?
If Biden's great, then I must be the king of England.
Biden's okay. Biden has no chance of trying to run. You know, he can just get that out of his head. Even his own party doesn't want him.
Exactly. He's like a holostock plant out in the field. That's a tobacco stalk that more or less died, but one leaf made it, and sometimes they don't even cut it, even if it's a good sized leaf, because it's just taking up space.
But no, I gotta beg to differ on that one. I don't think Biden's not a president. I don't, as I see it, we have no standing president in this country right now.
No, we don't.
I will never acknowledge him as a president.
I'd even go this far to say it, and
If
I
he
don't.
had if he had a level head on his shoulders and he wasn't sniffing little girls' hair and filling them up on stage or cramming his tongue down his own daughter's throat,
Do what?
maybe. Yeah, no kidding. He did that right on national TV.
Oh,
He French kissed his own daughter.
that makes
No
you wonder
kidding.
more than just little girl's hair.
Well, yeah, he felt up a little girl on stage, grabbed her by her chest.
No, I knew he done that, but what I meant, he might be sniffing drugs too.
Well, he's into something. He didn't get out and work on his campaign when he was doing it. He stayed in his basement until the last couple of months. And then when he came out to short crowds. It made no fucking sense. It made absolutely no sense as to how he could win the primary, be in the primaries, let alone win it.
I've only met one person that actually supports him.
Well, I met a guy that supports him, and I was always giving his dog treats and stuff like that. I kind of felt sorry for his situation because the guy's a homeless person, but he's another leech. He's leeching off of the system. He's getting all freebies and shit.
But
And
here's the bad thing is, this person ain't homeless. They got a ton of money. Plus, they was a former playboy,
hmm,
and now they're running for mayor.
oh yeah,
I don't know if she was ever a famous playboy or not. Her name was Letitia Clines.
I don't know.
What's that one guy off of American Pickers name? The taller guy.
I really don't know, but I've
See,
seen that.
she's dating him now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and then she's got a bar in the town.
hmm,
I won't never set foot in her bar. Her granddaddy tried to accuse my granddaddy of only cutting 50 feet of timber off of his land.
oh yeah.
When to make it even more funnier, the only right of way into his property was to go through theirs.
Hmm.
Now, yeah, I know my granddaddy was a Democrat, but if he was still alive, he'd be 100 years old. Just like they said, something switched the Democratic Party. Yeah, you want to know what made the Democratic Party switch on y'all?
You want to hear something funny? They declare they think that it's that Republicans are the ones that are violent, but yet it was all Democrat. It was the Democrats and shit that were burning down cities and all that.
Exactly. Just like the ones that was Democrats back when my granddaddy was a Democrat, they didn't believe in shit like that. And the reason why a lot of them was Democrats was because one, they didn't have as good a schooling system back then, and B, a lot of people farmed years ago. That was the only way they had to make a living was farming.
Hmm.
Now the Democratic Party, they're trying to send everything to China. Even stuff that can't be sent over there, they'd like to send it, I believe.
Yeah, I agree.
Just like when Obama passed the same sex marriage law, my granddad would have been 90 and had Alzheimer's. And I told him that. He said, no. He said, you must be mistaken.
Yeah, that same sex shit. That was really. And now look at what they're trying to cram down our throats.
Exactly.
Transgenders, and shit. It's like, what the fuck, really?
And here we are about to go to war with China and Russia, like I said earlier. See, I got a friend in the military, and he said it won't go the way they're thinking it does. He said if people gets captured in war, he said they'll have it harder than any other time during wars.
Yeah.
He said now ones raised like him, if they did, he said it might not be as hard. Because he said they'll probably ask you a question. Do you agree with the pronouns and all that?
Yeah, I was thinking about getting a P.O. box.
Yeah, that's pretty bad too. And I even know people that don't believe in God, and they'll even tell you there's only two genders.
Yeah, it's been getting pretty crazy.
Yeah. Well, even before Biden got in office, I don't know if it made very big news, but I heard about this. A guy tried to marry his computer and printer.
That's funny.
Well, I guess at least one thing about marrying a computer and a printer, I guess at least it wouldn't fuss back at you
Yeah, there you go. Don't have to pay a child support or alimony or anything.
or worry about it running off on you.
Yeah, and it doesn't mind if you cheat on it.
Yeah.
Actually, it tells you it wants you to cheat on it. There you go, and it won't mind if you watch porn.
I'll tell you the truth, though. I believe, I believe we are close to World War III. No matter how they try to slice it and dice it.
They got a thing out called sex bots.
Yeah, I know they do. And
The
you
Chinese
know,
one.
you know how we was talking about all that about World War III and all that about to break out.
I was like, oh my god, really?
Well, did you know they're talking about the Great Reset?
The what?
a new what they call a Great Reset.
Oh,
You know what that basically sounds like and reads like if you read it?
no,
In the last days there will come a mark of the beast in the new age, the new world order. And it's even called the new age.
yeah, they're trying to create robots that'll think for themselves and be able to fix themselves and do all sorts of shit.
And another thing that even started pitching the picture to me that we're living in the last days, when you're from a small town in the deep south and you're noticing churches are losing members quicker than they can get them, and most of the newer members coming in are former drug addicts, yeah, it almost sounds like the scripture of the Bible coming right out of it and revealing itself for you in front of yourself.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Now, I ain't talking bad about anybody changing their life for the better. I'm just saying when things are happening in front of your face and you're ignoring them, yeah, you can't ignore stuff like that. I mean, I don't know if you went to church as a kid or not, or
Oh yeah.
what church was you raised in?
Well, it started out as Lutheran, but I went denominational in my adulthood.
So you're familiar with the Church of Christ then, but I
Yeah.
don't know how familiar. See, the Church of Christ don't believe in the rapture.
Oh yeah.
And the main reason is one is
Church of
this: it's that the incorruptible. It's that the corruptible must put on the incorruptible. But here's the weird thing: people have done said there's been sounds of trumpets blowing.
the Church of Christ is what? Uh, fuck, I just said it. Mormons, right?
You actually got the Mormons, and then you got the other Church of Christ.
Yeah. See, I don't go by Mormons at all. That was a made up one.
The
That's
one
just like,
down, the one that I belong to was mostly founded right here in Kentucky and Tennessee. One of the most famous preachers, too, of all time of the Church of Christ. His name was Marshall Keeble.
yeah, I wouldn't go by Mormons, and I also wouldn't go by Buddha or any of that stuff.
And it's hard to say exactly what people from Europe would have founded the Church of Christ. It'd be too hard to say because it could have been Germans, it could have even been black people. It was just everybody
Mm.
because it was people that left the Methodist Church, the Baptist Church, and everything. And what it said basically to get back, if you read deep into it, it said to basically get back to the original teachings of the first century church. Have you ever read the whole Bible all the way through? You ever read the whole Bible all the way through?
I tried, but I tell you what, when I got to that book of Revelations, yeah,
You know how
that's
it
some
says,
shit.
you know how it says Christ Church salutes you with a kiss.
Do what?
You know how it says Christ Church, like reverse Church of Christ.
No, what's that?
Okay. You know how it talks about the Church of Asia and all that too in there.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
basically what they're trying to do. The Church of Christ. They try to get us back to the original church as it was. like get rid of all the Catholic doctrine, any other doctrine, and just let the Bible be the doctrine. Like if it ain't in the
Right.
Bible, don't go by it or don't believe it.
Right.
Like a Church of Christ member, yes, he might celebrate Christmas, but he would tell you if it ain't in the Bible, then it ain't a definite yes or no.
Yeah, see, that's the problem that I have with some of the other churches that are out there. We follow God's law, but hey, you got to follow ours too. That's wasn't what church was meant to do.
Exactly.
Church was basically there for fellowship.
Just like in the Church of Christ, there ain't no musical instruments either,
Musical instruments, what do you mean?
like a piano or an organ.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with using that stuff.
There, I don't think there is either. But the reason why there's not is because it's supposed to be like the first century A.D. The Church of Christ didn't even start having like camp meetings, even like camps, even for kids until like the last 20 years.
Mm.
But one of the most famous preachers, and this ain't no joke, was an African American. He was born before even the 1900s. Uh, you ever heard of Tompkinsville, Kentucky?
Uh-uh.
Okay, I don't know if I should say this right now or not. What's going on? But there is a place called the Old Monkey House.
The old monkey house? What's that?
That's basically where all the founders of the modern Church of Christ met to discuss about creating the Church of Christ. Because if you look up the Church of Christ, it'll say broke off from this church, and that church, and that church. And then churches broke off from this church to create this church and that church and that church.
Hmm.
And it said, and if you read it, it said the Church of Christ is possibly the biggest church in the U.S. But a lot of people disagree with that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't know.
But it's mostly just in the South where you see it. I don't even know if you see it out in California that much. The Church of Christ.
Okay, Governor, thank you for coming in. Yeah, well, I don't know. Um, my last church that I attended um, was in Nashwauk, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good little church.
And see, one reason why I said I don't know if there's very many out in Cali is where you said they don't even really like it for them to preach against like gays and all that out there.
Well, as it says in the Bible, it warns you to be careful of how you receive your doctrine.
Yeah, that's true too. Here's another
Okay.
thing it also says too. It says do not leave out any parts either.
That's right. And it also says, don't let yourself be fooled.
Because I've also heard my grandma say this too. You know what Church of Christ preachers used to say? If people would get up and leave out the church,
Hmm.
I must have been preaching it too hot and heavy for them and too much truth. And she said sometimes they'd say it as soon as they started walking towards the back door to leave.
Yeah, out here, uh, you attend their churches, and it seems like it's more of a joke than anything.
Yeah, that's why I said I bet there ain't as many Church of Christs.
Yeah, it's like you go in, they got monitors all over the place. They got a stage full of equipment. They play a few songs. They don't go over anything in the Bible whatsoever. They say they want to pray for this and they want to pray for that. They don't cover anything. And then the next thing you know, they play a few songs and then whisk you out the door. It's like, what the fuck, really?
Yeah, and I'm sure where you've had family in law enforcement, like some drug treatment centers are also like mental health places too.
Mm.
Down here in the South, a lot of them places also tries to use and tries to help people get closer to the gospel as well.
Hmm. Well, I think it's odd how Christianity and jails, there's, they go hand in hand. I think that's strange.
Well, it reminds me of the quote. I don't know if you've ever seen this movie, but you probably have. Oh, brother, where art thou?
Brother, where art thou? Yeah, yeah, it was a good movie.
Remember what the one guy? Remember the guy that George Clooney played, toe to the other two, when they got baptized?
Uh huh.
I think that's another part too of it.
You think so?
Well,
It'd have been
look
nice if they'd have came out with a part two, a second sequel to that movie. I think it would have been funny.
look at some of the great periods for getting back to God in this country. It was one was right back after 9/11. Another one would have been in the Depression
Hmm.
when this country first started out. Then right after the war, 1812. Then during Reconstruction of the South. That's why I said I think that guy was onto something when he said that.
Yeah, look at what they're building out in the United States now. Now you got synagogues and shit like that getting built. And
Yeah,
in one,
and
they're trying to integrate the synagogue with Christianity.
that's called Christendom. The only reason why I knew it more is I was just flipping through the channels one morning, and Jack Van Impe, he's dead now, but he was mentioning that Christendom.
Mm,
He said it's trying to interfuse Judaism, Muslim, and Christianity. And our founding fathers even said this. They even went a farther note and even being against law enforcement in a way. They even said this if you do a deep enough research. The day we elect a Muslim to high office is the day we start losing our freedoms.
yeah, I think it's funny. They move away from their land because they're not happy because of the way their shit is. And then they come out here and they get into our politics and everything, and they want to change our way to their way.
And then they
It's
try
like,
to teach us in school. Then they try to teach us in school. Oh, they don't hate y'all. They're a peaceful religion. Yeah, well, why do you read about in history too? If you do enough research for your own self, where they jump aboard the slave ships and even take the ones that was their people. cats and call them the infidel.
Hmm.
I mean, if it walks like a pig, sounds like a pig, it's probably a pig or a cat or vice versa, whatever you got on your hands.
It walks like a duck, talks like a duck, quacks like a duck. Most likely it's a duck.
'Cause this would have been like before like guns was really modern. This was like before we was even a country, like when the revolution was going on, and they'd jump on board with a sword in their mouth and one in each hand.
Uh, Never heard of it put that way before.
See, there's a guy. He's a preacher, but he's also a historian too in the Church of Christ called Dr. David Miller. You may be
Uh,
able to find. You may be able to find this on YouTube. It's called the Silencing of God Seminar.
mm, oh wow.
Then he done another documentary talking about Islam.
Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing's kind of spooky, if you ask me.
This guy preached for many years in Nashville at a church. I want to say it was him. Yeah, I think it was. Or Georgia. It might have been Atlanta. But yeah, I'm sorry if I'm talking your ear off.
Oh no, it's all good.
You seen Grizzly here lately?
Uh-uh.
He may be out ginseng hunting now.
Oh yeah.
It don't come in. Well, you can hunt it out of season, just don't get caught. But the official date is the 1st of September.
Hmm.
There's even a show on the History Channel. If you got the History Channel on like streaming, called
Nah.
it's called Appalachia Outlaws, and it's not it's dramatized. People thinks, but it's not too much off the fact of how it really is. There are some people that'll shoot you over ginseng.
I don't even know what it is. I really don't even care. With all the shit they got going on out in the world, I just, the best way to settle any fucking dispute that may be going around the world is take a step back from everything, shut it all off, and take a look at your surroundings.
Exactly.
If it isn't being the way that you're being told, don't believe it.
That's why China, I think, is holding off for. You know how they said it seems like China's holding off for a reason?
I'm not worried about China.
No, what
I'm
I'm
not
getting
worried.
at,
Hmm.
ginseng ain't that big over here. It ain't even that big in Europe. But you know where ginseng's the biggest at?
I don't even know what ginseng is anyway.
It's a
That's the
root. It's a root. But you go over to Asia, they they think of it like the Native Americans thought of tobacco. It's a cure all, wonder all.
oh, okay.
They even make tea out of it.
Oh, ginseng. Yeah, I know what that is. I do know what ginseng is. It's a
But
fucking
over there
tea.
it's used for more over there it's used for more stuff. That's why I said and it only grows in two places. The Appalachian states and China. But the place that the better ginseng grows is over here in America.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
They've even done tests on it and proved it.
Hmm.
Even on that show, Yeah, you could tell that that guy by how he was talking was something that yes, he got a buyer from was it Beijing or somewhere like that over there. That's why I said Nancy and Biden they need to go back to their old folks' home before they get us in something that we don't have no business in and don't need to be in and don't want to be in.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, we maybe fought Russia before, but I don't think we've ever made China mad.
Yeah. Well, hey guys, I'm gonna button it up here. I'm gonna head out. Um, I do thank everybody that's joined. Um, hopefully, we can try and get back in the swing of things here. Hopefully, um, but yeah. Until then, guys, I will see you on the next one.
Well, see you.